Hi everybody, it's Kim Wilson here and it's time for another class. It's our October class and I've got some fun projects for you today. We're going to start out with one of the technique cards. This is going to be a window card using a die cut and just a simple project with the Birds and Branches bundle. And so I wanted to show you first the stamp set. I'm not even going to use the stamp set today. I'm going to go right to the dies because see, there are some really lovely dies in this bundle. So I've got a couple of bird dies that I used here, and these two are in your project for today. And then the feature is this window die, which is just really lovely with the leaves. There's also this fun border die with the leaves too, which is really cool, and some other cool pieces, leaves, and of course pieces that will cut out the stamped images. So Birds and Branches we're using today, and last couple of months I did some what I call two-for cards, where you get two for the price of one. This is kind of a different spin. We're going to do an either or card. So these are the two options, and I'm sure you can figure out some other things to do with the pieces you got too, so you don't have to do exactly what I have here. But I came up with these two options, both using this die cut that I showed you from the Birds and More dies. So we're going to start out by stamping, and I'm going to do this card here. The Christmas card is really cool too. I loved how the gems go on the little bits there. So anyhow, set that one aside, and we're going to do the I did Happy Birthday on my sample. I think I'm going to do a different sentiment. I use a lot of thank you cards, so I'm going to do a thank you card. So I'm going to get my card base ready. Very vanilla. I've got my little piece here cut with a classic label punch. You can also use your little strips that you get when you're trimming off these pieces, these mats. And I always recommend Itty Bitty Greetings because it has all these little sayings and they fit perfectly on these punched images. So there's the Happy Birthday that I used on my sample. There's the 'Tis the Season that we used on this sample. So lots of different sentiments for any occasion with Itty Bitty Greetings. So I'm going to grab my soft suede ink pad and just find something that you have that's small that will fit on that little piece. Or if you want to use this idea, you can fit something larger in that circle. So I'm going to do Many Thanks. And there's my sentiment ready to go. Okay, and now it's just putting everything together because the pieces are already all cut. Now the piece I gave you here is from In Good Taste Designer Series paper, and it's one of the ones on sale, and it has some cool textured pieces on the back and wood textures on the front. So there's all sorts of different interesting designs in this pack, and it's a double pack, so it's got twice as many pages as usual. So I used this one in my sample, so let's try this one and see how that looks. So what I'm going to do is try to line up that piece. I cut a 3x3 piece. Of course I like to save on my cardstock and not waste it, so a 3x3 piece just fits there. So I'm going to put, I'm using my silicone mat again today with some, we'll stick some glue. I'm right at the end of this glue. So when I'm at the end, it's almost gone, I use this larger tip because it seems like it comes out better there. So grab some glue there so I have it on hand. And my sponge, which I keep in this little box here ready to go, and I'm just gonna lift this up because I have it right where I want it, and dab some glue on there, and then we'll do the same on the bottom because I have it right in position where I want it. You could also take your pencil and make a little mark so that you know that it's lined up and it's going to be where you want it. Or you can, if you're going to do something like this, then don't even use that piece. Just leave it blank and you're going right, stamping on the middle of the vanilla card. Or you could use your, if you have a lighter background on your opposite page, you could use that as your background too, and that would look cool. So lots of different options for this card. Okay, I'm going to next put on my garden green piece, and I'm going to use dimensionals to kind of pop it up. I forgot to do that on my sample and it looks kind of flat, but if you pop it up with dimensionals, then you really get that window effect. So I'm going to put 4 in the corners there, and then I'm going to put a few more right around the circle so that it it makes the circle kind of pop up there. So yeah, you want quite a few because I'm covering a big area here. So I'll grab all the tops off of these dimensionals and get this down on the card. Okay. There we go, and you can see that it's kind of popped up there, so you get that nice dimensional look that I didn't get on my sample. Alright, so now we're going to add a bird, and again I'll grab my sponge and some liquid glue and get that glue down about there. And I want to stick my my little sentiment kind of under him before he, and I could put it right there, and then it kind of shows up through the eye and the little stripe there. That's kind of a cool look. So maybe I'll just leave it like that. And the last step is to add some gems. So we're going to add some rhinestones. And I gave you in your kits some champagne rhinestones and some red ones. So you can use whichever you want. I used the red ones on the Christmas version, and the champagne ones I used on the soft suede version. And I like to, for my take your pick tool, I like to use that and put it on the sequin or the rhinestone and pick it up with my tool, and then I just set it down where I want it and put my finger on it, and voila, there it goes. Of course, I think I used up all my big ones, so we'll have to put all the small ones on this one. I put a couple there and then one down here. So I did, in my sample, I also put one on his eye, so that's another option too. So there you go. There is the soft suede version, and then there's the Christmas version. So whichever one you want. You have, those of you that have kits have 2 birds, so you could even put both birds on the same card if you want. So lots of different options to play with this one. I think you'll enjoy it. And I do have kits left, so if you didn't get a kit, you can message me and we can make arrangements for you to get a kit. Okay, I wanted to show you one more card with the Birds and More stamp set. This time I actually did use the stamp set. And you can see that it's a 2-step stamp. So you've got birds going both directions, but you also have different layers. So you can layer, I just use soft suede on all of this to layer, but you could do different colors too. And then there's dies to cut them out. So, and then again, I use the itty bitty greetings to make the little greeting here. And then this is that long die with the leaves that I showed you. So there's another fun card with the birds and branches. Okay, I'm going to sign off now, and I have everything here, so it'll just be a second before I can get started on the next card.